What's up, guys? Welcome back to Tech Tuesday!
Just mere weeks after Apple showed off all their new shit, today their Silicon Valley crosstown rivals Google has just showed off all their new shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new shit to get through, so let's dive right into the shit pile.
Most of what was unveiled today was already rumored and therefore not that surprising. There was a lot of leaks yesterday with all the promotional materials. But the biggest and most surprising piece of news was the announcement of the Pixel C tablet. Google's answer to the Microsoft Surface and a direct competitor to Apple's upcoming iPad Pro.
Unlike the Pixel Chromebook that Google released back in 2013, Grape laptop, this thing runs Android Marshmallow instead of Chrome OS. And like the iPad Pro, it seems to be Google's attempt at positioning their mobile OS as something that you can actually do work on.
Yeah, it'll cost about $500 for the 32 gig model and $600 for the 64 gig model. And the keyboard will cost an additional $150, which makes it more affordable than both the Surface Pro and the iPad Pro. And it'll be available just in time for Christmas. I saw the demo with the keyboard where it was hanging it upside down. Made me very nervous. And also, you can plug the keyboard in and it charges the tablet for you.
Yeah, that's cool. It still runs off Bluetooth though, which is odd.
Yeah.
There's no dock.
It's a tablet. It's a tablet with a keyboard. It's just like the other stuff. It's not going to be a laptop replacement, and that's the important thing to realize about it.
Still want to get my hands on it. Just check it out. In less surprising news, though, they revealed their newest generation of Nexus phones, which are the phones that Google designs alongside an existing manufacturer to basically show everyone how to make Android phones right. You fucking idiots, this is what you do. Yeah,
this time around it's the Nexus 6P from Huawei, which we know we're pronouncing wrong, but we're gonna stick
Huawei!
with it. And the Nexus 5X from LG. The 5X is basically the sequel to LG's Nexus 5 from back in 2013, promising the same combination of quality and affordability.
New features include USB Type-C, a fingerprint sensor on the back that they claim is super fast, a 12 megapixel camera, and of course Android Marshmallow and all the new features that come with that. Without a contract, it'll cost just $379 for 16 gigs of storage.
Yes, that's a really good deal. Now, the larger phablet 6P from Huawei comes with a 5.7-inch screen, slightly smaller than the previous Nexus 6, which I own, but also a lot thinner. It's all metal and has two front-facing speakers, which I love on the Nexus 6, a fingerprint sensor on the back, and most importantly, a 12.3 megapixel camera that's supposed to be one of the best around at taking low-light photos. It also
That's why it looks like a fucking periscope.
You know what? It looked, in subsequent pictures since we saw it last week, it gets thinner and thinner every time, so I don't know what maybe the first was a test model from months ago or whatever, but it looks great. It has burst shot mode, an improved burst shot mode, and records at 250 frames a second for slow-mo, which brings it up
4K video.
Yeah, brings up to speed with the iPhone and stuff.
It's also got USB Type-C, just like the 5X, and they claim that it charges twice as fast as the iPhone 6 Plus.
That's cool.
Yeah, without a contract, it'll cost $499 for 32 gigs, $549 for 64 gigs, and $649 for 128 gigs, which it's cool that they even offer that.
Yeah.
Both the 6P and the 5X will work on Google's Project Fi network immediately, making them the phones of choice for people who want to finally stick it right back at the carriers.
Yeah, Google also introduced Nexus Protect, which is basically their answer to Apple Care, which gives buyers 2 years of coverage for mechanical damage and accidental damage. So that's going to cost $69 for the 5X and $89 for the 6P. They also talked about how if you do break your phone with this, they replace your phone within 1 day.
Yeah.
So next business day,
they ship you a new one like before they even receive yours.
Yep, instantly.
So, hey Butterfingers, better get that protection plan.
Yeah.
Google also showed off 2 new Chromecasts today. That's right, 2.
Yeah.
One of them is just the newest version of the existing Chromecast with better, faster hardware and an updated Chromecast app that gives you better access to content with universal voice search, much like the Apple TV introduced recently. And it'll also soon support Showtime, Sling TV, and apps from NBA, NHL, and many more.
Been waiting for Sling TV. Had to get out and get a Roku stick so I could watch it in the meantime. I love that shit. There's also Chromecast Audio, which is it's Chromecast for apps like Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, and so on. And it looks to take on the Sonos line of products, sort of,
which are expensive.
Yeah, so this is not expensive, but also I can imagine a very limited scope for people that would actually find this useful at this point in time.
Yeah,
if you have a good,
it's so cheap though. It's like if you really wanted to have your entire house wired to the same feed, you just get like 4 of these, and that costs you $140, and you can have your entire house wired up to the same audio feed.
Sure,
I don't know.
It's a limited market, I feel like, whereas the Chromecast is pretty universally
Yeah.
accepted. They said they sold like 20 million worldwide.
Good.
Yeah. So both of these are gonna cost $35, and that they're available now.
Right now!
Yeah. So if you don't have a Chromecast already, I think this is a good buy. I love my Chromecast. I find uses for it all the time. So there you go.
Anyway, that's pretty much it for the Google event, since unlike Apple, they don't keep everything a huge secret up to the last second.
Yeah.
Android M is just around the corner, but all the new features for that was showed off months ago. You can find it in an Old Tech Tuesday, or just anywhere on the internet. So, what did you think of the new Android shit?
I think it's cool. We get Android M next week for people with Nexus phones already, and this time it kind of seemed like they were more playing catch up with Apple rather than Apple playing catch up with them, but in all the right places. They're finally offering services and providing products that were much needed in their space. So.
I really want to get my hands on those Nexus phones. They look so pretty.
Yeah.
Apparently they're very light.
I want the 6P. I'm gonna wait and see what T-Mobile offers.
I'm gonna check out that 5X.
Yeah. So aside from tech news about devices we spend hundreds of dollars on to replace only a year or two after we get them, even if they last that long because we lost them at the bar or dropped them in a toilet, we actually have some much more important news, and this is coming out of NASA. Guess what? There's water on Mars, baby!
Ooh, Mars get me wet.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking, wait, we've known about water on Mars for years. Why is NASA trolling us like this? And you're right, sort of. NASA has known for a long time now that Mars once had oceans and that water currently exists as vapor in the air and ice sort of in the ground, but images captured by the reconnaissance orbiter now indicate that during certain parts of the year, liquid water actually flows downhill.
That shit flows downhill. With Mars so damn cold all the time, how is this possible? Well, this isn't pure Evian water. It's very salty water, which has a lower cooling point, giving it the upper hand against Mars' frigid temperatures. And you can float in it if you go visit Mars. Keep you buoyant.
Now, what this means in the long term remains to be seen, but it certainly gives more hope to the possibility that there might be microbial life still alive on Mars, and it will also likely affect NASA's very early preliminary plans for a manned mission to Mars in about 20 years.
I like how there's still some people that are like, nah, I'm pretty sure that we're the only life in the universe. And we're on the edge of finding it at the next
not even that far away.
The next exit on the Universal Highway might have life on it.
Next door.
Yeah. Okay, Poindexter, that's enough science news for 1 week. Space is cool and all, but as non-astronauts, our best hope for now for exploring fantastical other worlds is, you guessed it, virtual reality. And now some of the VR heavy hitters are finally unveiling a lot of their fucking cool shit and how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah, so Samsung revealed that their Gear VR headset is gonna drop sometime real soon at the very affordable price of $99, which is not bad at all, but you also gotta factor in the fact that this thing basically just holds your phone over your eyes and provides touch controls.
Yeah.
So you still have to buy a phone, specifically a current gen Samsung Galaxy, either the Note, the S6, the Edge, or the Edge Plus.
Well, the good thing for this is in a year, those phones will be on sale on like Amazon or eBay for like $150, so there you go. But now, assuming you already have one of those devices, the Gear VR is positioned to be a very affordable entry for consumers to get into VR, especially considering it was developed collaboratively between Samsung and Oculus.
So on the opposite side of the VR coin, Oculus themselves revealed that when their Rift headset finally hits the market in early 2016, it'll cost, quote, at least $300. That's, of course, in addition to whatever it costs you to build or buy a PC rig that can actually handle the Oculus Rift, which at this point is gonna run you at least $1,000.
Yeah, so I don't know, I'm buying it first thing.
I'm in.
Yeah. So between the price points of the Gear VR and the Rift, it's pretty clear now that Oculus was smart to jump in with Samsung to develop a VR solution that non-hardcore gamers would actually consider purchasing. You could use it to watch those cool 3D trailers. That Star Wars did some.
Yeah.
That wire walking movie with the Twin Towers just did
Yeah.
that. Because at this point, it's still going to be a few more years before stuff like the Rift or the HTC Vive are going to be appealing to anyone who isn't willing to drop some serious coin.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to one of our favorite topics here on Tech Tuesday, companies being evil pieces of shit.
Yep.
First up, Martin Shkreli, who became the most hated man in America last week when his pharmaceutical company, Turing, acquired the rights to the drug Daraprim and immediately hiked the price from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill.
Yeah, Daraprim is a drug that's been around since about the 50s, and it treats a parasitic infection called toxoplasmosis, something that people with weakened immune systems like AIDS patients are susceptible to.
So raising the price of a drug that AIDS patients depend on by more than 5,000% is bad enough, but 32-year-old millionaire Martin Shkreli's response to the backlash is what made much of America see him as the scum of the earth.
Because his response was essentially, fuck off. It's not my fault you're poor. And his social media feeds have been basically an outlet for him to show off how rich he is since the beginning of Twitter.
Yeah. Because even though what he did is really just a symptom of a larger problem in American pharmaceuticals, this guy has a very punchable face.
Yeah, like ours. Anyways, after being roasted by the entire country for about a week, Shkreli has said that he's going to lower the price of the drug to, quote, an affordable level, though he hasn't actually said what that price will be.
$500.
Sure.
The bigger problem here is obviously how something like this is even possible or legal, especially when the drug in question is 62 years old. And the answer is that developing drugs is extremely expensive and time-consuming.
Yeah.
Pharma companies
You're paying for the research.
Yeah,
not the drug.
pharma companies do shit like this all the time so they can stay profitable.
But this one was $13.
Yeah.
Now it costs almost as much as 2 Nexus
They
phones.
usually spread the shadiness around. This
Yeah.
guy's just like, well, only like a couple hundred people need this drug.
Think
I'm gonna
about
screw them over.
shoving a 6P down your throat every time because of this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
It's a really complicated situation that we're definitely not qualified to discuss in any detail whatsoever, but hopefully John Oliver decides to explain it better in some time, even though he kind of did that back in February.
Gonna have to do it again.
Yeah.
Anyway, in other shady business news, Volkswagen is in big trouble for basically flat out lying about how environmentally friendly their diesel-powered cars are.
Yep.
And they didn't just lie about it, they actually installed software in their cars to cheat on smog tests.
The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency are accusing Volkswagen of using software that detects when the car is receiving emissions testing and then turns on a bunch of emissions controls that never actually run while the car is driving. What the fuck?
Yes.
They
So-
probably spent more money developing this cheating system.
Yeah. So when the cars are actually driving, according to the EPA, they spew as much as 40 times more pollution than when they're being tested.
Yeesh.
So now the US government is demanding that Volkswagen recall all 482,000 of the cars in question from US.
So much for that German engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Volkswagen, for its part, is complying, and they're not only recalling their diesel cars in the US, but all 11 million of them worldwide. But this is less of a good guy Volkswagen thing and more of a reaction to losing more than a third of its market value in an incredibly short period of time.
Yeah, that's a loss of $55 billion if you don't talk stock markets.
Yeah.
But on top of all that, their CEO has stepped down, and now the German government is going after him on some pretty serious fraud charges. Since according to several German newspapers, this was a known issue that had been brought up internally at least 2 years ago with absolutely nothing done to address it.
Wow. So great job, Volkswagen. You just undid 70 plus years of public trust and reminded everyone that your company was started by Adolf Hitler. Look that up.
That's true.
Yeah.
And finally, remember all those times we told you to go download the Samsung Milk Video app so that
Yeah.
you could watch our exclusive show that you could only watch on there? Well, we won't be telling you to do that anymore because Samsung announced on Monday that Milk Video is dead.
Officially dead. Milk Video's goal was to be a streamlined, curated video app that connected viewers with high quality content without having to wade through a YouTube-like wasteland. Unfortunately, it never really caught on, probably in large part due to the fact that they made it exclusive for people with Samsung handsets.
Anyway, 2 weeks ago we filmed our final episode of our Milk Video show, and honestly, if you have a Samsung device, just go download the app so you can watch that episode because it's a fucking, it's insane work of art.
You want to see what we come up with when we have nothing to lose? Watch that episode. Yeah.
Or just wait until our contract with Samsung is officially done and we'll upload it on Twitter or something.
It's too long for Twitter. It's too long for
Well,
anything.
we'll put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Put it on Facebook.
It's like if a Christian preacher was trying to be a cool 14-year-old
Yeah.
and telling you about neck news.
Hey
Or
there,
tech
kids.
news. Hey, what's up, bros?
Whoa.
Yo! Yeah, there's special effects and all kinds of stuff and B-roll that makes no sense. So enjoy that, and we have some other content over here for you. We have a brand new podcast. Oh yeah, subscribe to our page. If you're here, I hope that you're subscribed. We have a new podcast with the Schmoes, and then we have we called George Zimmerman an asshole because apparently no one has ever done it yet. And then we have a new news dump, so check that out.
Bye.